Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Let's Talk Autism. If you're very new to our Let's Talk Autism sessions, what this is all about is us getting together and learning from each other, supporting one another, sharing. It's all about autism. So if you are new to the chat, just throw any questions you may have. If you see another parent asking a question and you can help, feel free to chime right on in. We are parents just like most of you guys. So it's all about us again, learning, sharing, and supporting one another. So Linda's going to be a few minutes late. And while I am waiting on her, I'm going to share this as I usually do. And in the meantime, how are you guys doing this evening? Hey, Teresa, Sherry Rose, and Sonia. And Sherry Rose says she has good news to share. So give me a second. Let me put this into the groups. Let's see. I'm going to add to our groups. Okay. And also later on, during this, I think we're going to talk about bullying too. I put up an article the other day and it was very disturbing, and like everyone's thoughts on that and what can we do to stop this now that school has started. A lot of us, that's one of the things we worry about. So we will have a discussion about that in a little bit. I'm still sharing to the group, so give me 1 second, you guys. 1 second. So anyway, one more. All right, all done. Okay. Hey, Pammy and Lorienda. How are you guys? So, my baby has started school this week. So this was his first week of school. And so far, so good. I was kind of, Linda's here. There she is. I was kind of concerned with the COVID. I wanted to make sure everything was going right in the school. But I have to say, they are doing a very good job in making sure the classrooms are, the kids are their distance, and most of the children are wearing masks. The good thing with my son's class, it's a very small class. It's like seven or eight. It might be less than that. I think it's about 7 of them in his classroom. So it makes me feel a little better because I have been worried. So how are you doing, Miss Linda?
I'm doing good. Tired today. We actually ate dinner before live, so that's why I was
I
tired.
actually did too. I had spaghetti.
Oh, that sounds good too. Hey everyone. Hey Lorienda.
So,
Hey Charles. Teresa.
hey, Mr. Charles. If you guys missed Mr. Charles live the other day, he did an awesome live as always. So make sure you guys check it out. It is in the group. It should still be on this page also.
Hey Pam. Hey Sonia and Sherry Rose.
So Sherry Rose says, my 10-year-old is finally going pee in the potty alone. All right. We have been trying since he was 3 years old. We are working on number 2, but the pee was a huge step. Hey, I understand. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yes, I love to hear good news
Hey,
like
Steve.
that. Hey, RS. There she is. Do I tell Queen, her godmother? Oh, no. She has really bad inside. Oh, were they really close? Yeah, it may not be a good time right now. Maybe, especially with her anxiety. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow.
Oh,
I'm really sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry too. Hey, Lorienda, Charles.
Teresa says my son has had only one stress seizure last month, and he is already making friends. All right. And talking a little
Good.
more in class with his teacher. I get daily updates from his teacher every day. That's awesome. Now,
That's
my
good
son
too.
too, daily updates, and I'm liking this. He has a brand new teacher because they had to switch again, but she's from Louisiana actually, so this is her first year teaching here. Um, she called me. I love that. I love that when they reach out, introduce themselves, and let you know this is who I am. And yeah, that's wonderful. And then the kids feel comfortable. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
that's awesome, Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure you do, Lorienda. Mr. Charles always has some good nuggets for us, and we
Mm-hmm.
appreciate him dearly.
We do. We really do.
You're welcome, Sherry Rose. That is awesome. See, that's what we like to hear. So if you guys have good news, please share. We have to congratulate and celebrate our babies all the time. Yes. Oh, it's been a month. I can't. Oh. I don't know if there's ever any easy way to tell someone, especially someone they're close to, and especially someone with anxiety, really, real bad anxiety issues, news like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Especially with it being something like COVID,
Yeah, yeah.
because then it puts the fear. Yeah, it's like a compounded situation.
Yeah, we all love Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles. Hey, Dannon.
Hey, Dannon.
All my friends and my family are so proud of him and how awesome he has been. Excuse me, doing it at school. That's wonderful. Yep, keep celebrating them. Keep celebrating. That's awesome. So yeah, well here we got week 1 down. So now we're gonna see how week 2 goes. So I'm gonna see if I can locate this thing while I'm here.
Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle. Okay, open this up. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Kristen, welcome. I
Hi,
have a
Kristen.
question. Do you follow? No, I watch them. I've watched them all the time. A lot of our parents do. Yeah.
Same here. I think I just really haven't had the time lately,
Yeah.
but I watched him a lot too.
Teresa says I reward him each month, and my sister also rewards him, like picking him up from school. Okay, that's awesome. Yep, keep rewarding. He has a YouTube. He's a very popular YouTube, and he shares his journey with his daughter on the spectrum. So you can find. He also has a Facebook page,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
what I was
believe
gonna say.
his wife does too. They both have
Mm-hmm.
pages and
Yep.
YouTube. So you just look up Fathering Autism. And Sonia says that's how she acted when she found out her god brother. Oh, wow. Oh, the anxiety kicked in and everything. I'm sorry. So the god brother, did he died? It was close around the same time, or okay? I'm gonna put this article up so we can discuss it. I gotta see if I don't make a mistake with this sharing screen stuff.
Just close everything else on the computer, just in case. I'm
Right.
always scared too when I do that.
Oh, poor baby.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's a little different with our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess it just heightens the fear a little bit more. Makes
Right.
it a little more.
And I said, and especially if it's someone they're close to.
Exactly.
Okay, let me see how. Um,
Oh my goodness. God brother died 2 days before God mom.
wow, of
Oh my
COVID
goodness.
also. Wow, wow, that is crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, so I thought this would be a good article um, to share. This is very disturbing. Uh, very disturbing. So I'm gonna play the news clip from it, and I don't know if you guys. I hope I made sure the audio was on, but I'm gonna play the news clip.
Pizza or salad? Which one do you think I'm having for dinner tonight? Well, it's not this. It's definitely not this rabbit food. Why? Because this is going to do.
Not only was that child with autism beaten, someone recorded it all, that video, now evidence in a criminal investigation. We do want to warn you, it's tough to watch. You can hear the teen boy with autism yell in pain. His two classmates punch, kick him repeatedly to the ground, and steal his shoes. Then the video ends.
That poor kid. That's all I could think of was how awful for him to have to experience this, and what trauma that it was inflicted on him.
Ann Richardson runs ARC Livingston County, an advocacy group for people with disabilities. Her son, too, has autism.
I have no idea why someone would do this.
The beating happened on Howell High School's campus last week. We're told the boys, now suspects, have been cooperating with police. Investigators are seeking assault charges, that request being reviewed by the Livingston County Prosecutor's Office.
We have so much more work to do to make sure that people are included and accepted, and this can't be tolerated.
Ann says Howell schools have a good reputation for advocating for kids with disabilities.
I know that there's been work done at Howell High School for years. Their unified sports program, their peer-to-peer programs are wonderful.
A statement to Fox 2 from Howell School says in part, as a school and district, we do not tolerate this type of behavior. The school has started the discipline process per the district student handbook, and law enforcement is involved. Ann says sometimes these children are vulnerable for trusting just too much.
Our hearts go out to the family and to that young man, absolutely.
It's unclear at this point if the teens will be charged as adults. It'll all be up to the prosecutor's office. Reporting in Howell, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Ooh. Let me take this off. Now, what are your thoughts?
I'm attorney
you,
Mark Bernstein, and we're celebrating our
when
50th
you look
anniversary.
At this, and we figure for years now, we've had anti-bullying campaigns. For some of the schools, I know they have a anti-bullying assembly usually when school starts. You have all these things on the internet. So what do you guys think? Is it something, at home? What are the parents doing? Why would you pick on someone that you know is vulnerable? What are your thoughts?
I think too, we've come so far, so with the bullying campaign and the time span, when time goes, as time went on, anti-bullying campaigns, same thing with understanding that people are different. Some people have disabilities, and understanding that, and there was a time when it wasn't so intermingled, but it is now, and the acceptance should be really understood now. But yeah,
and that's disturbing, and that's something I worry about, because your baby's at school, and it might be one knucklehead in the hallway that just wants to pick a fight that day, but I'm wondering, what else can we do besides, do we blame the parents? Are they instilling this in their children? Is the community doing enough to put this in the heads of these young people?
You know what I think? I think that not parents don't take the full responsibility, but parents take some responsibility, because regardless of how the kid is, who the kid is, what type of mentality the kid has, the parents should be teaching them, you treat everybody kindly.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. If this pandemic happened when I was little, I hate to think of how I might have reacted. I would press charge. Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm. I think the article mentioned that they have the boys. Then it's the other thing, the person who was videoing. Mm-hmm. Did he or she contact someone before they start videoing? Were they part of it?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was wondering. I was wondering too, if maybe this was a recurring thing, and she or he finally caught it on camera, or were they part of it? Yeah, that's a question I wanted to.
So that is a good thing, and it may be a bad thing. Good thing it was caught on video,
and good thing the video got out to the right people.
Had it not gotten out, this could have been happening over and over and over again, and no one would never know. Yeah, Pam, it really sad. It when I first seen it pop up on, the screen on Facebook, I was like, wow, school just started, and it's already happening. Just started. The punks who did it should spend the rest of their youth in. They need some kind of reform, definitely. Definitely.
I mean, especially the last kid, the one that was kicking him in the head.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how long, like there's been situations where a person got punched and died, but you're kicking somebody in the head like that. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? And they should be held accountable for what,
Definitely.
the risk, because what are they going to do next time? It happens again, but maybe, it just, I don't know. It's I don't know, it makes me mad. You know what, it kind of goes with this is, like autism carries it too, but then some regular shirts and things have it, and it says be kind.
Yeah.
And to me, when I see that, I like that, but then I don't, because why do you have to tell somebody that?
Yep, you shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. Lorienda says not reform school, jail. And they should know better. At this age, your high school, I mean, you should definitely know better. Kristen says, did you see where the police tased the young man with autism 8 or 9 times? Father, I was looking for ideas to educate. But yeah, there's a lot of the groups we have groups here that are also going into police stations and educating. I think the country in general is starting to catch on the education for all, not just the police, for the paramedics, the fire department, all of them. So yeah, big ups to Father and Autism, but we have a lot of other great organizations that are doing the same thing too. So yeah, it's definitely needed. It's needed in the schools also, because some of these teachers need to be educated or re-educated, I should say. Constance, hi Constance. This is every parent's fear for the yes. I think every time our babies walk out the doors, I think, that's one of the worries in the back of our minds. We are hoping, for and praying for a great day, for them just to come home happy, Lorienda says, I have no tolerance for beating, bullying against vulnerable individuals. I am hardcore on this matter. Yeah, absolutely. And again, I'm wondering, what do you guys think? What can the schools do different that they may not already be doing? Because I know here, a lot of times they have the anti-bullying campaigns. So, you go into schools and some of the teachers are good with that. And I say some. But what else can they do? What else? How can we got to keep beating it in your head that this is not right? Bullying someone is not right. So what do you got? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
And I think too, one of my things that I said before is, and it was about bullying, it should be just like how when they bring a knife to school or something like that, it's zero tolerance. And it should be, when you can do that to somebody, and especially, so they have like laws when you commit a crime against somebody who's disabled or special needs, the penalty is higher. But bullying of any kind, first of all, should be zero tolerance in schools. Zero tolerance. And I'm going to skip right to here for a second.
Okay.
I don't think it's just the parents. It's also what the kids watch on TV, the kinds of music, and definitely the people they hang out with, their friends. And yeah. And yeah, I agree with that 100%, because kids have to be responsible for what they do, because as the years go on, they become more responsible and more liable.
But all those things
but also,
all those things she just said ties right back into what are the parents doing.
Exactly. And just like I said, even so, like the kids are watching this, they're hanging out with those kids, but the kids should have instilled in them that right from wrong and you treat everybody kindly. So even, I mean, it's still, you don't not do it because you don't see your kid act in a certain way. You feed them, the information that they need, as they're growing from an infant, you teach them, you treat people kindly.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get around those kind of people, they'll understand, oh, they're different than me. We're not the same.
Right. Well, you guys, I gotta go make me a cup of coffee. I'll be right back, Linda.
Okay.
Hold it down.
Okay, so I think this is every fear. Yeah, it is. I have no tolerance. I might be in jail. Very disturbing. Once a child goes to the point of committing aggravated battery, it's too late to worry about why he became a bully. He needs to be punished, period. He belongs either in a reform school or a prison. I agree with that because that's why I say it should be zero tolerance. When they're at that level, they're already at that level. That kid is already harmed. And when it's an aggravated assault or battery like that, they may not have intended for it to be fatal, but it can be. And they would be, it's just, I don't know. This is a hard topic for me. I think it's a hard topic for all of us. But I'm trying to talk on these comments, so it's hard for me to keep staying in this. Some of the parents are bullies too. Yes, exactly. Just like the bullying documentary I seen, and we were talking about a few weeks ago, and it's called Bully. It was like the mentality of the parents and the kids that were getting bullied. The mentality of them, they couldn't understand it because they didn't raise their family like that. They weren't raised like that. I say that to say this. Many of the bystanders blame the family for allowing the young man to get out. So not just the police need to be educated by the public too, but the public too need to be educated.
Oh yeah. Like I said, especially first responders, definitely, they have to come in contact with our babies and don't know. It's just sad. Oh, go ahead.
You know what sorry. Go ahead. Were you done? Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. What I always thought, especially at the beginning of the year, they should have an assembly or, rallies, whatever the school does. They should have that, and not only related to bullying, but they should have a special thing for that, for people being different. And then people can understand this person does this because they have a special need, and making everybody more aware makes people more accepting.
Yeah, and an example of making people aware. Now, I have my favorite store, right? So it's a little store. So the first couple times you walk in, you see the owner is always behind the counter. You may say hi or whatever because it's a small store. And he sees you with your child. So he says, hey, you tell your child, say hey. A couple more times you come in and say, hey, man. And he's recognizing that DeAndre is different.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel better because I know that particular store conversations me and the guy had, and he knows DeAndre, and he always high-fiving him. Well, not lately because we haven't been in there in a while, but always high-five. I feel comfortable because I know if DeAndre does do that ultimate escape again to the store, that someone is watching out. And they're going to make sure that he's okay until I get there. And I think it's important that as parents too, we establish those relationships with people in our own communities too. Make sure you're talking to people. Make sure they know who your son is, or your daughter. Make sure your child is familiar with the neighborhood, and the kids on the street. Now, I will say, sometimes I don't like DeAndre going out outside because some of these little boys, yeah, and I can see it, the way they walk by, and if he's doing his little jumping, and the way they look at him, like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to pull him to the side and say,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, look, he's a little different than you." But then I don't know. I don't know if I should approach this child like that, or But I just kind of keep DeAndre at a distance. And if they do come over and ask if he could play or whatever, then maybe then I can, have that discussion with them. But I still wouldn't know if I would feel comfortable, leaving them to play out there, by itself.
And that's kind of like, because sometimes you don't know until it's already happened. What Emily got lost at school on the first day of school, and so they would let them go out the hallway and the restroom during passing period. And when class came back in, Emily didn't come back in, and so we heard it after the fact, but so she was missing. She was out there during passing periods, which is really crowded and everything. But I can only wonder, like, were people like, because she's not going to move out of the way, she's not going to do anything, she's probably going to be wandering. What were kids doing? Were they saying excuse me? Were they brushing past her? We have no idea. But that concerns me because too, she goes into the restrooms, right? And she'll push right to the sink after she uses the restroom. How are people going to react? Is someone going to respond, by, going off on her?
Until they get to know, that's just her. That's just her, Yeah.
You read that one?
Oh. Brandon was bullied and hit on the head. Oh my goodness. Immediately I told the school that I was pressing charges against the principal, teachers, the student, and the student parents. It was going down. I know, Mama Bear. They knew it. They expelled the student permanently. Wow.
Okay.
And there wasn't any reason for that, I bet. None whatsoever. I'm so sorry, Lorienda. I'm so sorry. Thank goodness Brandon's okay from that, I'm so sorry. Wow. Once the child goes to the point of committing, you okay, Linda? I know, girl. I know. Aggravated. It's too late to worry about why he became a bully. He needs to be punished, period. He belongs either in reform school. Yeah. These sad. It's disturbing. But I wanted to bring, this conversation up because I think it's something us parents, what can we do? And you're right, Danielle, some parents are bullies too. The first thing, if you try to talk to them about, well, our kids are having an issue. Oh, my kid is not such and such. They don't even want to listen. Sometimes it's the parents are the problems, and we just have to accept that. You okay, Linda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We should all, as a parent, especially if another parent is coming to you, woman to woman, man to man, man to woman, woman to man, and wants to discuss something, we should all have the openness. Don't always assume that your child is the good one, and that goes for ours too. I'm not just speaking. I'm just speaking on in general. But yeah, parents are bullies not only to other parents, they can be bullies to their own children, and that can lead to their children that they're bullying other children.
I mean, and there's a way to approach it as well. If you believe that your kid didn't do it, that doesn't have to. That doesn't mean that you don't say anything. You know, you can still thank you. You don't. You can still educate them. You can still, lecture them. You can still, maybe you didn't do it or you didn't do it. But if the situation ever came up, your friends were doing it. Da, 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 you can still talk to them instead of outright just denying it. And my kid didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lorienda. That was so sweet. Orlando is educating for free, the Leos. Yeah, I think every state should, education is key. This is one of the main reasons I stay super busy involved with school. Yes. To me, a lot of educational staff overlook bullying. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah. Yeah. And that is important, Danielle. That's a good point. I made a post the other day about don't just talk about it, be about it. You know, if you're gonna, your child is in school. I was referring to the progress, but for everything else though too. I mean, get involved and stay involved. Make sure they know that you are going to be there regardless. Make sure they know that you are not going to slack because if something's going on with your child, make sure they know that you will be there in the drop of the dime, and that will kind of cushion a lot of things that could go wrong just by your presence. Make sure you leave in your phone numbers. If you can't be there all the time, like me, I have to work, so I try my best to get in the classroom when I can, but I'm on the phone with the teachers. I get on her nerve. I know I got on the teacher's nerve first week. I know I got on her nerve, but
We're supposed to. That's what we're that squeaky wheel, right?
right. It's like, what is he doing? Is he okay? I mean, is he shaking? Is he nervous? Is he jumping? Blah blah blah. And she's like, Miss Dawson, he is okay. But yeah, stay involved. That's awesome, Danielle. Let me get my coffee now. You okay, Linda?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, I'm getting ready to go get my coffee.
Brandon knows not to waive his rights, and I feel like this is a parent problem. I do agree to an extent because kids are still going to go out and do what they do. But if parents did not instill common values as far as treating somebody right, treating somebody the way you'd like to be treated, then it is a parent problem because you're supposed to do that from the beginning. So it begins with the parent. I can say that for sure. I agree with that. And that's good. The police know Brandon. And Lorienda says, me too, Pam. Constance says, this is probably not the first time they bullied someone, and the school sometimes picks this up, but do nothing. If there's no consequences from home and not from school, they are free to do whatever they want. Has to be consequences. Exactly. Now, if they had it in their mind that there's zero tolerance, that you do this, you're out. If it was zero tolerance, will they stop to think more? We don't know because it's not like that. And then, yeah, it's just not like that. But the bad thing is that they probably most likely did not start at that level of violence. Things, what would it have been next time without the video camera, or perhaps if it was video or not, but whatever, it probably would have kept increasing. Because like I said, we don't know if this just started with, calling a kid names, then shoving, and then now he's on the ground getting kicked in the head.
Mm-hmm. Our district has a conflict resolution person in school. Well, you have a problem with anyone in staff, student, etc. You all sit down. Okay. Has that worked for the district that you know of? You know, being able to sit down, Danielle? I don't know if I'm gonna have to check into that too for our district. See if something like that. Dannon. And it's not just to our kids when they're kids. It's also and can be even worse once our yes, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said a moment ago, it starts from the very beginning of parenting. You teach your kid to treat others how they want to be treated. You don't say those words to them exactly, but when your toddler goes up and hits somebody or bites somebody, you teach them, no, do you want somebody to do that to you? You start at that age. You teach them how to treat people.
Yeah, because kids will mimic what their parents do.
Yep.
So if they see their parents always, fussing or fighting, they're gonna do what their parents do.
Yeah. And if they see their parents not responding to behaviors that they have like that, it must be okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree, but parents need to teach the kids. I did with my older kids. They had a great friend in the class who had a disability, and they always took care of him.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's
See,
how it should be, Cam. That's
exactly.
how it should be.
Just like I said, when I was in third grade, we were next to a special needs school, and when I was in third grade, they taught us about the kids, and then they told us, we could go play with them, interact with them, but we went like two students at a time. So we got to go over there and be like teacher's assistant kind of thing, and we got to, but they taught us about them, about the differences and special needs, and they also had a program. That program was to go and be part of them, with them. And that's a good program that should be, and some schools do implement that where they have like a partner. I forgot what they call it, but it's a partner, and the partner is in general education, and they kind of are like a leader. They're leadership students, and they help your special needs student, and they look, after and support them. But I think it's all about awareness.
Yeah.
Bullying is one thing too, but bullying is one thing over here, but then you still have the awareness over here, because even though people may not be bullying, they're still not aware. So they're maybe standoffish.
I think most bullies start out with mild bullying. Then as they get away with it, little ways of picking on other kids, they graduate, inflicting more serious injuries. If the school clamps down on the mild bullying, suspending the offenders and expelling repeat offenders, there would be less of the more, and it really has to start with the no tolerance, none whatsoever. Starting off with little things. They need to, get these kids in play. Hey, look, you threw a piece of paper at him for no reason. Gotta give you a day. And because it will escalate.
Yep.
If they know they can get away with it, and like these boys from this news article, it probably started with some teasing, and maybe he didn't respond the way they wanted him to respond. So we got away with this, so let's try this.
Exactly. And the sad thing is, he didn't respond the way that they wanted him to. Why? Because he got used to it. So you call him a name, at first you might be kind of shocked or whatever. Then the names increase. Then you got to the point, this is going to happen to me, so you're bracing for it. But they don't see the reaction. Then the next thing is, okay, we're going to push him. Okay, well, pushing doesn't help anymore. Now, like I said, he's down on the ground getting kicked in the head. But it just, I think it escalates too. It's just like, you guys know that I have a child care, and that's one thing. You do not put your hands on anybody else. Name calling does not go. You don't treat somebody like that.
So what are you guys What are you guys' thoughts? Hey, Kate.
Okay.
What are you guys' thoughts? What things can be done differently to help? Because, like I said, we have everything in place. You have the anti-bullying campaigns going on. We should have well, maybe we could use more education in schools, and maybe we should get the parents to actually get educated. Maybe the parents workshops, right?
Yeah.
A requirement, maybe. Teresa says, I talked to my son about bully. Whenever my son's school has an assembly, they always talk about bullying and autism on how to treat them. My son's school does not tolerate. Okay, that's awesome.
Good. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you can't just make the assembly about the difference of a few of the individuals, but acceptance and respect of each and all. Yeah, right. Everybody. But if this child is a little different than yours, whether they have autism or not, it's not okay to, shame this person or ridicule or, yeah, you're right. When I was younger, senior year, I was beaten by a bully on a school bus coming back from BOSIS program. My face, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, wow. Blood, broken jaw. Wow. Well, I hope you guys press charges. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, Curtis and Aunt Amy. Mama, or Amy, huh? Mama, two boys here. Both on the spectrum. One is in middle school, the other in high school. I worry about them every day. It's sad how kids are mean to the kids that are, yeah, very sad. Very sad.
I like that picture.
Yeah. Very sad, though.
It is.
Hi, Tarika. To get the school to agree to an assembly to educate their peers, where would you start? You start with the administration, school board. Yeah. School boards have meetings, their monthly meetings. Start there. Superintendent. Talk to your teacher, your child's teacher.
That's what I was going to say. There's the superintendent of special needs too in the district.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can start from the bottom up, or you can start from the top. It doesn't matter, but just your willingness to start somewhere. Like, hey, I think this should happen, or hey, I want to lead this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you're crying, but hugs. The principal or super, yep. You should start with either the principal or possibly the school. So, yep.
And I wasn't shaking my head because of the comment. I was shaking my head because of what I was crying about. To hear about Ralph.
Mm-hmm. And Brandon, this is, thank goodness Brandon came home and told all that. Yeah. Wow. Never keep anything. And see, that's a scary thing, because what about our babies who are nonverbal or who can't express that someone is hurting them, The best thing about the pandemic is that I felt safe. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a yep for most of us. Yeah. Some school officials are more concerned about their school's reputation. Yeah, that's true, Mr. Charles. They want to stay A+ on whatever list they're on. So let's push this under the rug. We don't need that, that mark on our school. Yep, you're right. Hi, Lena, right? I take my baby to speech therapy and OT. She isn't in school yet. But their parents have said to their children, you can't act like a bad kid like that. Wow, bad kid like that. Because my little girl was running and laughing and screaming. I cried. Oh, wow. Someone actually would say something like that. Wow. This has happened 3 times. And this is at the speech and therapy. The speech and OT center. Then I would, if that were the case, I would let the center know, that, hey, these parents, and maybe they can do a workshop for those parents. Yep, Girl, that school knew the gas pedal was on. I can imagine you, Loretta. I didn't care. I got to see. I know that's right.
Yeah, to hear like and I couldn't even get Brandon out. I was trying to say Ralph, and yeah, like I said, by the time I got to Brandon, I couldn't even get the words out. I was crying again. But to hear that like with Ralph and Brandon, and to think Emily and DeAndre going to school too. I mean, Ralph and DeAndre is like as if it was Emily and DeAndre. It's like Ralph and Brandon. It's like, I don't know. It's just any of our kids, it's hard. And to hear that it already happened to some of them is hard.
Yeah.
Like I could barely read that comment she wrote about Brandon.
Oh, yeah. 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 And it shows. I like to feel appreciated. I like to appreciate the teachers, and they make me feel appreciated because they know I appreciate or I'm involved, Yeah.
Yeah, but at least Victoria, they have tried. Because we can say it. We can say it because like I always say, if you think of a group of people or a type of person, that person exists in this world. There's somebody of there, people are all different. So to say that there's not one parent that did not try to instill it in their kid is incorrect. So to at least to do your part and try to instill it, yeah, okay, but it doesn't just because, oh, my kid does this is his responsibility. No, you need to do it anyways. Oh, that my kid isn't that type. He's not going to respond to me doing that. Try. Do it anyways. And yeah, it's true. It doesn't stick sometimes. But we put in, and hopefully we get back out what we put in.
Right.
But not always. Yep, I think so too.
It's
Too, because there was a day when it wasn't so integrated with school, with general ed and special needs. It wasn't so, so much combined. But now it is. And yeah, there needs to be some explanation and some awareness with that, some education. But it seems like they just intermingled them, but that didn't come with it.
Yeah.
And so instead of thinking that they have a special need, especially if they're mainstream with a special need, instead of thinking they're just special need, they think, oh, he's this, he's that. We can pick on him. He's weak. It's just everybody has to play a part.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Charles.
Hey, Nita.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, good to see you again after just a few days, and good to see you, Linda. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And of course, bullying, when I was growing up, is nothing compared to what goes on nowadays, where it can be around the clock, as opposed to, you come home from school and you don't have to worry about it until you get to school the next day. And even in school, you probably only have to worry about it during recess. That's how it was when I was growing up. Probably didn't have to worry about it, through the rest of the school day. Now, it's around the clock, and it's driving kids to suicide.
Yeah. because they turn on their computer, or somebody's got their phone number on their phone, something, but it's constant. It's just like I was saying that to Steve the other day. I was like, they really do not get away from it. And yeah, it's just, and the bad thing is more people see it, or it can go farther on social media, and more people are starting to gang up on them. Yeah.
Got air going on, Kate. Got your window down?
No, it's straight on.
Okay.
Hi, Dannon.
Hey, Dannon. Where were we? Administration and bus aides and also teachers knew Ralph was being bullied. Wow, he quit one. Yeah, and I can see that being a reason. Everybody's just, that's a shame. So yeah, when things like that go on, I think all administration, the bus aides, even though they only see our kids for what, maybe an hour, if that long, everybody should be required to have some kind of workshop. Hey, Lorienda.
Hey, Lorienda. Also, those positions are usually mandated to report things, not just mandated to report what happens in their home, not just mandated to report what another adult is doing to the kid, but to keep that kid safe. It does intervention need to take place. So for them to be ignoring that, I mean, it's against their mandation. It just
that's the thing. Yeah, when mandated reporting laws apply to these people, their feet need to be held to the fire.
Yes.
They need, those laws need to be enforced on them. And that's the thing, because and it's logical, if you're required to report child abuse inflicted by an adult, well then logically you also should be required to report child abuse inflicted by another child.
Exactly.
Well, abuse is defined. It's just defined as it is. I mean, abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter if it's from a child to a child, adult to a child to an adult. Abuse should be reported immediately. And I'm such an advocate on this, because a lot of our vulnerable individuals are bullied, abused, neglected, and exploited. And I'm telling you, when I get a case, because my job, when I get those cases, I'm like on it. Okay, I always educate people. Don't be afraid to not report person, and because they lose their job. At that point, it's over. Like I'm hardcore. I know I'm hardcore. And it's like, it's over. I don't care about your job. You didn't care about your job. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to.
But they expect you to care more about it, I guess.
Right.
When they failed to obey the mandated reporting law, when they kept their mouths shut about what they saw going on, they forfeited the ball game. Then,
absolutely.
We're not.
And that even makes your case. That makes the case even stronger. That makes the case stronger. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when what I share with you guys, when Brandon was bullied and that kid hit my son's head, and he came home and told me, honey, I called the principal, I called the teachers, I even called my favorite teacher. I even told her she was going down too, because I said, if there's nothing done for my child, everybody was going down. And I said, and if y'all didn't do anything immediately, I was going to go to the governor. I would go as far as, if I had to go to the president of the United States, I was going to be that big mouth.
All right.
And they kept it local, of course, and they felt, they had a meeting and they said the easiest thing is to expel the student. And I was like, okay, I was fine with that. Because then, he wasn't going to be at the school.
Brandon had to deal with in that school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Although he's verbal, but he had told when it was over, he had told me like before that, like Nita, you had mentioned earlier that there was, it started probably before that. It did. But Brandon because of his seizures and stuff, he tells you stuff later. So he
Right.
had told me the first time it started was when months ago, when the boy told him at the bus stop, when I see you, I'm gonna beat you up. So then that he held that. He did not come and tell me that, guys. I told him he should have told me right away on that one.
Right.
But then I noticed he wasn't wanting to ride the bus no more. He used to love the bus. Okay, and he didn't want to ride the bus, so I said, well, let me go, let me check it out, let me go to this, let me stay at the bus stop a little longer and see what's going on. And so then I said, Brandon, show me who is because the boy rode his bus too on top of that. Yes. So it was just my baby, he just was. So I had to take him to school, and then I was like, well, okay, I'll take him to school, because I didn't want him traumatized from school. Like, I didn't want him to be like hate school and all of that. You understand?
Right. Oh yeah.
I had to do whatever I did. I would be late to work, just taking him to school because I wanted him to be comfortable. And but it was rectified. I mean, it didn't go that far. Because I guess when he came home and told me, I guess the hit on the head was a bit too much for him, and I was so glad that he came and told me. I was so glad he told me. But I did. I told the teacher. I was like, I'm sorry, honey. I said, one of his teachers, and she was sweet and she was good, and I said, but you know what? If you got to go down too, you going down too. I mean, like there's no tolerance for my child to get hurt. Y'all's care.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So Pam said that it was the aides and the bus drivers. If the aide is there to supervise, the bus driver also has the job to supervise. But if they're not supervising, then what are they doing? It doesn't make sense. And that they're in those positions, so they're mandated. So if they're mandated and they were to report something and they were saying, if they were to say, oh, no, you don't need to report that. What harm did it do? For them, for somebody to tell you, I go mandate something and they tell me, Linda, no, you don't need to report that. You know what? I'm trying, and it stopped with you. But at least, I'm doing my part. I'm trying.
Right. Well, the thing is with if you suspect I know in Florida, if you suspect any abuse, you are to report it, even if you suspect it. And then with either the police or our agency will go out and do the investigation. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was like a lie or whatever. We're going to go out and make sure. Does that make sense? We're going to make sure. We're going to go and investigate.
Yeah, and
so
like I was saying too, nobody should be afraid to try to mandate. Oh, but no, I don't want to. Why? What? Just mandate.
Right.
You're mandated to report it. Report it.
Linda, I've heard stories. They'll say they don't want to get people in trouble and lose their jobs and all that. And I'm like, y'all know my stance on that one. Okay.
But
if I was hurting somebody's kid, like I deserve to lose my job. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have no tolerance. I mean, I don't care who get in trouble. Somebody got to be accountable. Okay. Somebody.
Yeah.
I just can't walk away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you think about the bully, but then you think too, well, where was somebody supervising? Okay, Brandon was here. So when this happened, how did you react?
Right.
Oh, you weren't watching him? Oh, you didn't know where he was? What was the situation? So somebody's going to be held responsible. We're not going to hold him responsible. Okay, I'm going up to the next level of who should have known what was going on with Brandon.
Well, the whole business about being concerned,
right? Because I wanted to know how did this go. I wanted to know how all this went down at the bus stop. You know what I'm saying? How did this go down? The teachers are supposed to walk the kids to the bus stop and all of that. You understand? Because Brandon rode a special bus with the air conditioning because he have asthma and stuff like that. So I want to know who didn't see it. So that's why I was saying, well, somebody better tell me something because this ain't adding up. And I said everybody's gonna go down. So y'all, you guys need to. And then I was like, and I'm coming to the school right now. I'm driving as I'm talking to you.
Right.
What I say about
you guys, I was in the middle of going to work, and I got the call, and I was like, I turned around, and I was gone. Okay.
This whole
So, I don't know. I just like I said, the bus drivers, the teachers, all of them, everybody, they're all mandatory. The school, the school crossing guard, all of them are mandatory reporters. And if it comes that if we find out that they didn't report it, then they can get penalized and have penalties. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean,
and that's how it should be.
Stay silent on stuff like this.
And the bottom line is as far as the concern about, well, I don't want this person to lose his job. Well, when a person fails to do the job for which he or she is getting paid and knows that they're supposed to do such and such, and they don't do it, they're forfeiting the ball game right there. They are the ones
absolutely
their job.
Because that's part of their
You're
job.
Absolutely right. You are absolutely right, Charles. You are absolutely right. But I hear it. I hear it all the time. Well, that was the only time, and they need to take care of their kids and their family, and huh?
Should have thought about that when they decided not to report what they saw.
Exactly.
Because then you become part of the whole thing. That's like the case here. There was a child abuse case, and the four CPS workers ended up in court, and they were facing sentencing because they didn't report, and they were slacking and hiding things here and there. But it's the same thing. You become part of the whole situation because you didn't mandate it. All you gotta do is, you didn't report it. All you have to do is report it, walk away. That's it. If somebody comes to ask questions, fine, but you're not tied into it anymore.
That's right. So if one of those DCF workers, like you said, one of them would have just came and said, you know what? No, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm reporting it. I'm going to put it out there. Maybe their boss was riding their butt and saying, no, don't put all that in there. Because, there's sometimes, you have bosses like that. You understand? Because of their agenda, their political agenda, whatever. But you got to remember, this is lives. And I don't care about your political agenda at this point.
Exactly.
Because
especially when another mandated reporter is reporting it to them, the teacher was reporting it. So even at that point, but no, if it stops anywhere on that chain, it's done. If somebody stops and drops the ball, where does it go?
Right. Oh yeah, we've had a lot of DCF workers here in Florida that got fired and on the news and stuff because they hid notes and didn't write it in there and had went and visited or get this, they wrote that they visited or whatever, but they never did. You understand?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow,
it's crazy.
Oh, people will try to pull stunts and get away with it. And once they get away with a stunt once, they'll try it again and again and again. Eventually, the problem is all the damage they do before they get caught.
Yeah.
And how much pain and damage do they inflict, because it keeps, as they get away with it more and more, they start getting more and more bold, That's how some of these kids ended up, not making it because it gets more, it's progressive.
You are right. You're right.
And like the bullying. So they're doing that to this kid, kicking him in the head. Like I said, what's next?
Right. So I, the only thing is what I did for Brandon is after all that happened, I said, you know what? I got to get the police, the local police to know who he is. He's Brandon and, he's just in case of anything, they see him or I mean, he's never out of my sight or nothing. I mean, he's, you know what I mean? I don't let that kid go far, okay? He is always up under me, like a duck, a little duck to their mama. But just in case, anything, you understand? I want them to know him, and if he's nervous or he's having a seizures or doing his tick and stuff, I don't want the police to be thinking, that's a big guy. He's a big, tall guy. Man. So they may think this man is gonna pull out a weapon or something. You understand? And I don't want. And he's a gentle giant. He would let a 2-year-old beat him up. Okay, a 2-year-old would beat him up. And so, you know, I just had to be proactive and get the, you know, go to the law enforcement trainings and introduce my Brandon to them. And, you know, and I go into the community, go to the park and maybe, you know, the local park and like let the kids, like Nita said earlier, you know, familiarize the neighborhood kids with him so they know if they see him, oh, that's Brandon. Uh-oh, we got to get him back home. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, educate, you know, because he's like a baby. He's like a baby. And I wanted to share with you guys one of the law enforcement training Brandon was participated in, and it was really good because what the detective did was he had a bag of flour, right? And he said, hey, Brandon, if you take this over there to that person over there, I'll take you to McDonald's. And guess what Brandon did? Took the bag of flour over there to the person, right? They were trying to teach him that could have been drugs. Then he would have got arrested.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But Anna's thinking, oh well, you know, he don't even know, he don't care what's in the bag. He's just doing what the person said because he want to go to McDonald's. You understand?
Right.
So those are the good trainings that we have to you know, teach our kids. So and so then just in case, because they are vulnerable and they will go and, you know, somebody tell them their favorite thing and say, hey, I'll give you this or whatever, you know, $1. Brandon thinks the $1 is $100. And, you know, you know what I mean? You know, so he's like, if they say, well, you know, hey man, you go over there and steal that, you know, go take that thing, I'll give you $1. He's like, whoa, okay, you know, you understand?
$1, let me go do
a whole $1? I'm gonna buy, you know. I did. I asked Brandon, I said, Brandon, how much you think a car costs? And he said $1. I was like, oh, Mama sure wish so. Mama sure wish my car note was $1.
Right.
Well, that makes me think of Raymond and Rain Man, who thought a new car and a candy bar both cost about $100.
Oh, yes. I love that movie. That movie is awesome.
That was the movie that put me on led me to my diagnosis, because I could see the similarities between Raymond and myself.
Yes. Especially with numbers. You and him and them numbers.
Oh yeah. I mean,
DeAndre like numbers too, though.
He loves numbers.
Yes. So anyway, you guys, I'm sorry. I had to come on because I mean, when it comes to bullying or beatings or abuse and neglect, I get oh my gosh, that is like I could talk for hours about that and just get passionate about it because
well, we hear your passion and you should be. you should be. But let me because it's almost time for us to say bye. Yeah. But Tarika asks, do you think it's a good idea to let your kid take self-defense classes? What do you guys think?
It's a personal choice. You know, I mean, it depends too on your views of some of these, you know, the martial arts and so on, how you view them. Because you know that may influence whether you decide it's a good idea or not. So I can't really say good or bad about that. You know, you've got to use your best judgment on it. And
I agree with Charles. I think it's a personal choice.
I think so too, and I think you have to think about. And I think you have to think about how your child will look at it.
Right.
Who has the feedback? Oh, so how will your child handle it? Will they end up hurting somebody because they have the physical capability, but did they have the right level of deciding where to use it and where not to use it? So I guess it would depend on a lot of different situations, though.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, I agree. That was a great question.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay, everybody, because you guys know I got to
That
get
question
up
alone almost took us another hour.
But I want to thank all of you for joining us, and let's go through some last words. Mr. Charles, you have any last words tonight?
Well, again, it was my pleasure doing the Focus Live the other night, and good too that you got a chance to meet Cindy, and
Yes,
and those
beautiful wife.
others who participated got to meet her too, and and anyway, I just enjoy being part of this group, and whatever insight I can give that may be helpful to parents.
And we appreciate that, Mr. Charles. So if you guys missed the live with Mr. Charles Thursday, it should be in the group still or on our main page. So make sure you guys check it out. If you have any questions for Mr. Charles, he's always willing and open to answer any questions you may have. So check that out. Before we get to our next last words, I also want to say a big thank you to Pam E. Pam has some clippers. She bought for Ralph, but couldn't use them for Ralph because of the sensitivity. But she gave them away to someone in the group, so we appreciate that. Thank you, Pam.
Oh, thank you,
someone in the
Pam.
group was able to use them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So, Lorienda, you have any last words?
Well, all I want to say is thank you to all of you guys. I love you guys, and you guys have a great week.
Okay, Kate.
And if you guys need anything, let me know. Let me know. Except for money. I ain't got $1 million or nothing.
Oh man, I was just about to inbox you too.
I know. I was like, Linda or Nita gonna inbox me for like say $1 million or something. Yeah.
Hey, can I get a cool $1 million from you? Say anything.
You too, Daniel.
You too, Danielle.
I just want to say, everybody have a great week. Do great things. Be positive. If you need anything, let us know. We love you all, and just go out there and be great.
Oh, that's great. Dannon.
I have muted his mic because of the feedback, but I can't unmute it. Is he stuck?
Yeah, I think he's buffering. Yeah. Well, I have last words. I would say that our kids are so innocent, and that makes them naive, and they're loving, and the way that they are is how they expect others to be, but that unfortunately that's not how it is. And of course we're all their voice, but hopefully one day awareness really comes about where there's acceptance, full acceptance. We know that's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but we are their voice in the meantime, and we will always push for them and speak for them.
All right, everybody, I appreciate you all. Keep loving on those babies. And we will see you next go round.
Okay.
Bye. Have a good week, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. This was a great discussion. This was a great discussion tonight. Let's do this again.
Yes, it was.
Thank you, Lorienda. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you more.
Bye, Kate. Bye, Danny.